Hello, Peach. Peach, if we're live, I don't see it there. There we are, live. Let's get that one going. You can see the Peach. Get the live chat. We're there. Hey, Peaches. 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 Peachy girl. Babaloo. Baba 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 babaloo is a baba 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 babaloo. He's a baba 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 babaloo. You're not having any of that, are you, Bob? Snowball, 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 snowball. Peaches, peaches. Mander, mander. And today, sitting in Peach's cage, we have Jasmine. Hello, Eleanor. Jasmine's in here with us. I've got Peaches on my lap, and Jasmine's in Peach's cage, so. Romeo. Well, Romeo. I love you, Romeo. I'll get a grunt out of you, probably. I love you. Nope, no grunt. Pippa, you're hiding behind your toy. Could you get a longer toy? Huh, Pip? You need a longer toy in there. What are you doing hiding? Pip, Pip, Pip. Lucy. Lucy Goosey. Looseness. Your looseness. Lucy. Shake your head at me. Uh-huh. Sugar bird. Sugar the bird. Sugar the bird. Sugar bird. Sugar bird. Sugar bird. Hello, Amy. Hello, Eleanor. What are you hiding in there? Oh, there you are. That's Lorelei hiding back there. She likes the new perch. I put a different perch in there for her so she can go down low when she wants to. Cosmo. Cosmo. Hi, Cheryl. Cosmo. Snowy. Jazz, what are you doing, Jazz? Jazz. Hi, Jazz. Hello, little Jazz. Hello. Hello, Peach. You saying hello, Peach? Say hello. Hello, Kaisei. Well, Peaches is, she was having kind of a bad day, but she's better now that she knows she's online. How she knows that, I don't know. Because she can't see people, which is her favorite thing to do, right, Peach? And Jazz is doing fairly well. She does have one issue, though. She's just started to like the lady of the house. And unfortunately, that person is a little too busy to give her enough time, and she's constantly begging for it. So yesterday I watched a couple of movies in here since it was a Sunday so that those folks could not listen to her complaining that she was in her cage. Otherwise, she's doing fine, though. Her weight's good. Health is good. Romeo's doing a little better. Oh, does Jasmine like it in her cage, Eleanor? Well, she prefers it to being stuck in the dining room with no one out there, but I think she'd rather be out. The problem is if I take her out, she jumps on my shoulder, then jumps on top of the cages. And that's a good way to get your foot bit or a toe torn off. So, hi, Falcon Sue. I do have the iPad set up, and I have a little help, so I'm trying not to miss any of our friends. So Romeo's doing well. When he gets his food now, I spray him down. He loves to get sprayed with water. So when you do that, he says, "I love you, I love you, I love you." Don't you, Romeo? Yeah, that's what I expect from you if I'm not holding the spray bottle. Which is great since, hi Doris, since when I first got him here, he would not even get near a spray bottle. They were obviously torturing. I mean, I can't prove it in a court of law, but if a bird is afraid of paper towels and spray bottles, you know they've been doing something, hitting him with those paper towels and spraying like cleaning solution on him or something. I'm not sure what they were doing, but he's doing pretty good. He's getting used to the fact that he's also attracted to the lady of the house. And again, he doesn't get as much time with her as he would like. But he's down on his medicine. He's not taking as much, and he's not feather picking. And then Pippa is starting to make friends. She's making friends with the man of the house. And she's also not... The feathers on the back of her neck don't go up when we go by the lady of the house, and you know how she feels about ladies. What she likes about ladies is lady fingers. Humans can be cruel to anything. I swear, it just takes the right conditions. You know, and what they did to him, pinning, by damaging 4 of his follicles so that he's lost his balance. It would be easy to get him to nip at you, and he's done that to me a few times. So Lucy's doing better. I mean, she loves being out there in the aviary, and she climbs down on me a lot earlier than she used to at the haunted hill house that I was at. And again, all of her health signs are good, and her behavior is strong. She seems to be a lot happier here. Sugar, as usual, is looking out at the aviary with longing eyes. She wants to be out there all the time, not knowing that it's like Death Valley outside. Right now, let me see if I can get my watch to tell me. It is 35 degrees centigrade or 93 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And there might be some confusion between those numbers because I'm using 2 different weather apps. And Sal here, don't think he was abused, but we don't know because he has that twisted pelvis, and it could have come from damage early on, but we don't know. We know it was early on though, so it was it was either the way he grew in the egg or it was something that happened to him shortly after he was hatched. That much can be told from the 8 x-rays that Dr. Jenkins took. He's doing fine. I don't believe in rain. It's a 4-letter word, Doris. Oh. We don't get much of that here. We get threats of it once in a while, but that's pretty much it. So he's doing well. His weight's good, and all of his vitals are positive. Lorelei hiding back there. She'll go outside maybe 3 days out of 7. I don't force her to go outside because when you do that, it can get really scary trying to take her over to the aviary. You have to be ready for a deep bite and not to let go. So if she'll step on my hand, she goes outside. If she won't, then I'll try a couple more times while I'm doing everybody else. And if that's the way it goes, the way it goes. She was out today, though. Unfortunately, she and Cause don't get along that well. Her weight is good. All of her signs are good. She's up on her medicine 0.1 milliliter, but that's not much. Just up a tiny bit. Cause is fine. She's more than fine most of the time. She's always happy. Bouncing her head, aren't you, Cause? Bounce your head. just now. Hi, Cockatoo. Hi, Cockatoo.
No.
Hi, Cosmo. Hi, Cosmo. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Cockatoo. One of these days, she's gonna say it. She said hi, Cosmo, this morning. She doesn't say that one very often. Snowball's been quite talkative. He's been chattering up a lot lately. Haven't you, Snowball? Snowball. Snowbird. Snowball. Yeah, I know. You don't talk with a camera on you. That's pretty normal for you. Again, his vitals are good. His behavior's about the same. When I put this extra perch in there, he got a little happier. It's hard to figure out with the smaller cages where you can put the extra perches without making it so they can't flap their wings. These cages are big enough so they can flap their wings. Maybe with a slight exception on this fella here. He gets to do it outside, but that cage is a little smaller than what I would like for him. Of course, we'd like to have them, all of them have a 40 mile by 40 mile flapping area, but. And then Babaloo's been doing well. He's on 0.06 of Haldol. If you gave him 0.11, he would probably beat his head against the bars. He's highly sensitive to it, so he doesn't need much. And he does not trust me when it comes to giving him peanut butter, so I have to sneak it to him. And it's not always easy to do. Sometimes he'll throw it down if he suspects there's medicine in it. Then I have to pick it up, and I think I'm going to have to go back to using a little legerdemain. I'm going to maybe do some of the tricks I used to do when I was a kid, like making coins appear out of nowhere to try to get him to take it. That may include using a rubber band to strap one of those craft sticks to my wrist so I can slip it out while he watches me actually take peanut butter off the spoon. But otherwise, he's doing okay. He doesn't look like he's going to need stitches for a while. He will eventually need them again, but he doesn't need them now. And then Cecil is just Cecil. He's got a little bit of nest territoriality going along in the aviary. You'll see that in our latest video, which, if you're a member, it doesn't really have any taste. He just doesn't want it. He knows he can feel the effects of it when he gets it. And that's, I think, what he's rejecting is the chance that he's going to get some of it. So he seems to notice that he's on the drug. That's just a guess. I can't get it in his head. Cecil is, like I say, he's showing some nest territoriality with my footstool. So there's positive and negative to that. The positive is if he's defending that, he's only going to attack my shoes, which you can see in our latest video. If you remember, you can see that now. It's up on the on the community page. You can see it. Otherwise, it will be premiering Wednesday at noon. It's a short video, 13 minutes, and after that, we'll have our regular meeting. This guy, though, is doing great. He's a little sassy, but that's the way it goes. Mostly sassy because he's not allowed to be with Lorelei. So, and this one, the Peach. She has her good and bad days. This morning was not quite so good. It wasn't terrible, but she wasn't talking much and just wanted to be petted. That's not normal Peach. Is it, Peach? Can you say something, Peach? Say hello. Say hello. Sing a song. You want to sing a song, Peach? You want to sing? No, not today. No singing. You can't see them, Peach. Yeah, the problem is he has figured out for one thing, they see better than we do. A good example is when Pepperberg was working with Alex, she, hi Aaron, she was, put objects of different colors down there, and orange and green and blue and that kind of thing. And then he would miscount. He would say there were only 2 of something when there were 3. she eventually figured out that they see a different spectrum than us. So what we call red is several different colors to them. So she had to start painting the objects. And when she painted them with the same paint, they were the same color, then he never made, or almost never made a mistake. And the question is, did he make a mistake or just get tired? Because sometimes he'd be like, I go back now. So that wasn't the exact phrase, but basically he would ask to stop doing the work and go back to his cage. Right, Peach? Peach is, she still has, she has blood in her droppings, so. Doc thinks that we just have to wait, and he's one of the best in the country, if not the best, so he doesn't see a reason to put her under the knife, and he's not sure she'd make it. So it's one of those, either she's going to overcome it on her own, which she probably has done in the past. Erin, her mood has been pretty good most days. She's had, she's been singing and talking and all that kind of stuff, so. But today she's been pretty quiet. This is not one of her best days. It's not a terrible day. She's not, like, her eyes are open. She seems alert, that kind of thing, but usually by now she'd be saying something, wouldn't you, Peach? Would you say hello? Yeah, that's not normal Peach, see? She should be saying hello. Yeah, when she can hear Eleanor and Amy, she comes right out of it. But right now, I think she kind of knows there's something going on, but she's not seeing anybody, so. Right, Peach? You don't see anybody, Peach? You hear me talking, but it's like that song, you keep on knocking, but you can't come in, yeah. She's just waiting for somebody to look at. Aren't you? See, she really wants to be she wanted to be at that festival. I showed her the festival going on in Ulm, Germany, and she got to listen to it and watch it, and she seemed pretty fascinated by that. Not like when she's talking to a friend, but still. She watched the video with me she watched about 10 minutes of it. I watched 20 minutes out in the aviary, on and off, playing with the birds. A bunch of people in the river, only 10,000. That isn't much, right? Hello, Michelle. So she watched that with me. Didn't you, Peach? Didn't you, baby? Now, again, with Peaches, you see, I pet her down the back, which you're not supposed to do. And that's what the video is that we have, that we're going to premiere for people who aren't members on Wednesday. And if you are a member, you can see it now. But and I talk about the rules, how you... I give you rules, and then it looks like I break them, but I'm not. There are rules and there are rules. When you start out, you want to stick with these certain basics. But if you know what you're doing and you've taken not just reward training, but you've taken some real behavior classes, or which you can do relatively cheap. I mean, you don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get the basics of behavior. In fact, you could probably get away with $400 with just the class at, from Dr. Zellick's, So I will, like I was describing it earlier, it's like chess. You learn the opening moves, right? There are certain opening moves you make. And then when the board starts changing, you have to adjust to them. And that's how I work with these guys too. In some cases, though, you don't throw those rules away, but you go to more advanced rules, okay? A good example would be with Jasmine over here. Jasmine and Romeo. okay? They have special rules now because they just attach themselves to the lady of this house without they just did it. You know, there's nothing I did or anyone did. They just took one look at her and said, "Oh, I'm going to become bonded to her." So now the special rules that are in effect are the way I deal with them. Okay, they actually get a little more attention from me. You know, where I'm telling people limit the amount of attention you give a bird. I am apparently breaking that rule, but I'm not. What I'm doing is I'm using another rule. When you have a bird that is bonded to someone else, you have to work with them so that they don't become so territorial that they're a danger to themselves and the world around them. So, new set of rules. So that's what the video is about, and it has a great name. It's like "Do as I say," right? Do as I say, not as I do. So, I've had a lot of comments lately. Hi, Spirit Matter. I've had a lot of comments lately on YouTube, especially that, well, you're saying one thing and you're doing another. And actually, no, I am talking about basic first steps with the majority of birds. And then that changes based on the situation. It changes on the bird, you know, how the bird reacts over time, the different situations that come up. So, yeah. Yeah, the chance of my not becoming bonded to sugar was about zero, because I had to spend so much time with her. If I hadn't, she probably would already be dead. And if they had taken her where they attended to originally before I got her, when I got her from a veterinary office, where they took me into a back room and said, "Could you please take this bird with you?" And they told me where they were going to take her, and I said, "No, I'll take her." So I went down with 2 birds for an examination, came back with 3. But she really liked chewing into herself and tearing her feathers up. She did not look good. I mean, she always has a very strong look on her face, but and when she wants something, she goes for it. It's not like she's weak in any way, but she was just destroying herself. It took a long time, and sometimes you have to learn how to break the so-called break the rules. I wasn't really breaking the rules with her, but she takes a lot more medicine than the manual of parrot behavior lists. You know, they give you guidelines how well to give a bird by weight. One thing's for sure, it's not always going to be true. In her case, she's about 0.05 milliliters above what the top level you would give for someone her weight. Yeah. So, and they make their own choices too. They can like Romeo just chose to bond to the lady of the house, and the same thing with Sugar. Now, when you have somebody who doesn't have that much time that they can give the birds, this can be a problem too, because now the bird feels left out, is constantly crying for what they consider to be their mate, and that's why I spent 4 hours back here watching a couple of movies with the birds. We got popcorn. Yeah, they got the plain popcorn, and I got the stuff with something on it, but there may even be a few little pieces of popcorn left on the floor. I haven't had to clean the floor yet today. So, what movies did we watch? We watched iRobot was one, and the other one was Serenity. They like the action flicks mostly. Usually at night I give them movies that are with their TV up there. I still got to get a mirror across so that all the birds can see. Now they can see a little bit because, I mean, the thing's angled down so they can look up and see it, but I'd like them to have a better view, so mirror across there would be better. They like the action movies. Don't you, Peach? Yeah, I was handing out. There's a little bit of popcorn left from last night. You know, they eat a little bit of it and then it falls out of their beak, you know, or they hold on. Every piece of food, I don't know if you've noticed, but with parrots, every piece of food has a handle. So they eat the part that they're not holding and then they drop the rest. So, and Bob was begging for popcorn and he's got quite a bit left in his cage, but he was begging the whole time. And it's not bad for them. It's not something I would give them every night, but it's not bad for them, so. Yeah, I like that movie, Serenity, Spirit Matter. It's one of the sci-fi movies that has just the right level of humor with it too, you know. So there aren't many that I know of that have that kind of dark humor to it. Another movie they like, which is bizarre, but they like it, is called The Hidden. And that's a sci-fi movie that got a lot of acclaim from the reviewers, but it's not that well watched. And it's got a lot of dark humor in it, too. Okay, what are you doing over there? Hi, Jazz. See, that's the look she's been giving. That look. That's the look of somebody who wants is looking for their mate. And unfortunately, that mate is not here right now. She's going to be working all day, so. And then might hold her for 20 minutes tonight, and that's about it. Same with Romeo. Romeo will get just a little bit of attention, so. I have to fill in. So what I do is I give them more attention than I would normally ever recommend, but that's because they're mated. How do you get them to deal with other people? You have to give them more attention. Black and white movies, no. No, I've not seen them pay much attention to black and white at all. And I'm not sure if it's because it's black and white or because they're generally slower. There's not that much action in them. So they get color movies. They'd probably do better with, like 120 frames per second because of the way their eyes are, but do I have any actors? Yeah, I got tons of them, but Kate Blanchett, Anthony Hopkins, there's several in Serenity, but I don't know their names because I think most of those actors do television, and I haven't watched television in years. I'm just starting to watch a little now. Animation movies, they do like the Pixar movies, the Steve Jobs movies, basically. Steve Jobs is the one that brought Pixar out of the darkness because it was just making 3D rendering machines, computers, basically. They like The Incredibles. They like Inside Out. I like Michael Keaton, sure. I guess it's silly, but my favorite Michael Keaton is Beetlejuice because he gets that crazy in that movie. Yeah, I'm more of a movie aficionado. I don't know many television actors and actresses. And how about the videos or the movies that we won't get to see because Philip Seymour Hoffman died? Well, there are some good animes, but not recommended for people under 21, probably. Wicked City is a good one. If you don't mind monsters that do strange things. And the English translation on that one is good as well. You can actually watch that with the English version, and it's fine. They did a great job. Never heard of Rocky Horror. Frank who? You had to bring up Rocky Horror, didn't you? Try to keep that one in the closet. Yeah, I played Frank 13 times at the Colton Theater on Friday nights. So yeah, I like Rocky Horror, but I of course prefer to go to an actual theater and see it. But can't do that. I can't stay up that. I don't like the English, the one they redid here in the U.S. I'm not fond of it, but I like the original La Cage aux Folles. I think they miscast that, honestly. So. Yes, I was. I did Spotlight for Midnight Insanity for, what, 6 months, I think it was. Um, it depends. They seem to like Kinky Boots. Some like Sugar. Sugar likes The Music Man and My Fair Lady. You know, they do have different tastes. So different birds like different things. Romeo, the one I originally bought the TV for, right, Peaches? Right, Peaches? He'll watch most things, but his favorite is Willie Nelson. Yeah, I like South Pacific, sure. I don't have it though. They never had it for $4.99 on iTunes. And I'm looking for the deal, right? Or in a package with a bunch of other movies, so if you want to know what we watch on YouTube, it's mainly because of this one. When Peaches starts, she has a yelling. She sounds like a baby that's really upset. She's not feeling well, and usually she'll be bouncing in her cage and then yelling. If you put on Rammstein, she stops, and she'll watch it, and she loves to listen to Rammstein. So, yeah. That's her favorite. She likes Icebreaker too, but not as much. So you put on Rammstein, and within 2 minutes she'll stop screaming. She'll be screaming. Well, not screaming. This isn't really screaming. It's crying. She stops crying within a couple of minutes, and she'll stay quiet. She'll just listen to it. You know, I've tried the streaming bird movies and things on YouTube on them, and they don't seem to pay much attention. Um, it's like with the Parrots on Telegraph Hill, they'll watch it sort of on and off. They pay most attention to the hawk when the hawk flies over. So, Bob, what are you doing back there? Oh, Bob's sleeping. Hi, Bob. And Cecil? Hi, Cecil. I'm not close enough for you to reach out and grab, well, am I? You get close to his cage and he grabs you. Yeah, these guys prefer, you know, movies that millions of dollars went into the making. I don't know. They like, I mean, the whole room seems to like The Matrix, and especially the second one. I don't have the third one because I think that was kind of silly, but they like they do like loud music, and I think it's the vibration, but I don't think they have to have it loud. I used to have, I have it out there somewhere. I have a sound bar for that thing up there. I'll eventually get it hooked up, but so far they haven't paid much attention to how loud it is. It needs to have enough volume to it where you can feel the vibration in the air a little bit, but yeah, they'll listen to Chorus Line. What other musicals do they like? One I can't get. I want them. I'm sure they'll like it, but All That Jazz with Roy Scheider. I think they'd like that one. Trying to think what probably, well, Romeo's favorite is Willie Nelson. So if you put on Honeysuckle Rose, Spirit Matter, I haven't seen that one. Nope, I haven't seen it. Closest thing I have to that is The Rock, and I say that because that is mentioned. The guy's name is Godspeed in the movie. They seem to like the Sean Connery movies. By seem to like is you look in here and they will be looking up at the screen or kicking their heads back like they're listening. So, I'll give it a try. Sure. Oh, they like the salamander bird? That big guy? He is such a sweetie. He will let you hug him. I mean, you could hug this guy for hours, but the second you stop, he's gone. He's out of there. He likes to be petted or hugged, and so I'll pet him the minimum 5 minutes, kind of thing, and then take my hand away, and he's gone within 30 seconds. So, Snowball likes salamanders, sure. Our little voyeur over here, he likes to follow him around. I gotcha. Yep. Godspell. No. Oh, one they just recently got introduced to. Little House of Horrors. They like that. And it's funny, some of them like particular actors. Like Romeo likes Willie Nelson, and I mean, it doesn't matter. I've got the... I can't think of the name of it. Barbarossa. I have that too, and whenever Willie's on the screen, he'll watch him. Then he turns his head or he does whatever until Willie's back. I think concerts are more their speed, but there is some dancing in the movies too. It's kind of hard to tell. This one's a great dancer, Babalu. Yeah, they like Michael Jackson. They saw Thriller. They like that. And they like horror movies. That's the funny thing. I mean, not slashers. I don't really watch those. But, suspenseful movies, they seem to draw their attention. It's something about the way the camera and the sound is done. It's meant to grab your attention. Exceptions are black and whites, right? They don't really go for the black and white movies, but... Maybe. Yeah, there's always some kind of music in the background to try to make it more dramatic, right, in a horror movie. I haven't seen Communion, Spirit Mactra. I am a videophile. I watch a lot of movies, or I have. Now I'm starting to watch them with the birds back here so that the folks in the house can have some free time. So I haven't tested to see with the Little Shop of Horrors if they like the director's cut where everybody dies, or if they like the one that was produced in the theater. They do that with these movies. They make the movie so that it doesn't offend the public. That's part of the deal. And sometimes it's also a political thing, like in the book Hannibal, the FBI agent goes off with Hannibal at the end of the book. I just gave it away. Sorry about that. But if you haven't read it, in the movie, it's a totally different ending. And Cujo's another example. In the book, the woman has her dead child in her hand, and she's rabid. I mean, she is literally got rabies, and she's rabid, defending her dead child. In the movie, everybody's okay at the end. I watched Cujo, and I kind of liked it until that ending hit it, and I haven't watched it since. So, to me, I like a horror movie with a dark ending. That's And this is a unusual one. They like Bram Stoker's Dracula. When I say like, I mean you don't hear any squawking back here. They're listening. So yeah, I didn't mean to spoil the movie, but when they're quiet and a movie's on, they're generally enjoying the movie, right? I mean, if you know at that time they're normally noisy and they're watching a movie and they're not noisy, right, Jasmine? She goes, I don't get to see the movies. I got to watch the ones in the living room. She sees television because that's what she can see from where she is in the dining room. Yeah, I do too. You know, they didn't use any special effects in that weren't from the 30s and 40s, or actually more from the 30s. So there was no CGI. In fact, the guy who was in charge of graphics kept talking about CGI, so he got fired. Coppola didn't want any CGI in it. He wanted it to all be just done the way it was way back. So there's no camera tricks other than actual tricks played with the scenes and stuff. So yeah, they did. Yeah, all that stuff was done the way it used to be. I mean, they didn't use hand craned cameras, but you get those effects. Bob is sleeping. Cecil is sleeping. Oh, are we boring you guys? Are we boring talking about movies, huh? They were watching Terminator 2 when I turned it off so we could do this. And they all looked at me like, we're watching that. You know that look you get when you walk into somebody's living room and you start talking to them when they're staring at the boob tube? That's the kind of look I got. You turned off our movie. Yeah, they like Terminator. The one they like the most is the one where all the actors are up in my range of age, So, Dark Fate. That seems to be their favorite. I don't know. You can put that on and they'll stay quiet. Some of it may have to do with the voices. But they're all doing pretty good. They get their television. They get me in here with them every day. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to live stream that? But copyright laws, I can't do it. And I don't have a problem with copyright laws. Except when it comes to when I put up a video and I have Hawk, that one company, constantly going after me, and they know, because they have to know by now, that I have a license to use that stuff from Storyblocks. But every time they're just hoping that I won't go back and show YouTube that I have that license. So, thieves. I mean, a lot of people do thieve music and stuff like that, but I'm not doing that. I have a license, or I create it myself in Apple's Logic, or I use what comes with Final Cut. So, all right, guys, are you going to say anything? What are you doing over there, Snowball? He's been so talkative, and he's just sitting there. Of course, this is that time of day where they usually take a nap. And they've had their breakfast. They got their dry food, their wet food. Let's see. They got their muffin with the peanut butter sauce and their mash and their edamame. And you haven't eaten anything yet. Aren't you hungry? He's like, why are you looking at my food? Snowball. Snowbird. Peaches, you haven't said a word. Well, actually, I can't follow TV in here because what I have is an Apple TV hooked up. So, yeah, I can do the Apple stuff, all the Apple TV, but I can't do any regular television. So they were watching. Oh, come on! I can't think of the name of it now. The Isaac Asimov TV program. God, I can't think of the name of it. I think they spent $300,000 an episode or something on that. Yeah, terminating the Terminator. Yeah, what did you think, Spirit Matter? What did you think of Dark Fate? Did you see that one? Die Hard, yeah, they watched that one. Again, they like the action in it. There's enough action in it to keep them entertained. They, of course, prefer it when I'm in here and I have popcorn, but so I don't always have popcorn. That's for sure. I'll sit in here. It gets noisy when I don't have popcorn, but. Peach, are you going to say anything? Peaches, going to sing? Dark Fate, Fate. They're all, I mean, Linda Hamilton looks, she looks her age. Arnold Schwarzenegger looks their age. But it's a good one. It's actually well done. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. You're going to sing, Peach? Popcorn. You got to put. Yeah, Lucy ate all of her popcorn I gave her last night. Beep, 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 beep. Peaches. This is the day I got to make their food. I've started making their food for about 4 to 5 days. So, and I don't like freezing it, so it's refrigerated. And that way I can put a lot more stuff in there, and it gives me more time to sit with them and play with them. While we're doing one of these, though, it's going to be Peaches on my lap. That way I can bring in Jazz. And I'd let some of the other birds out, but if they walk on each other's cages, then there's a chance we'll have a bite, and we don't want that. So they were in the aviary. See, we were out from 6:30 until 10 days. So. Ooh. Yeah, greens. The only way I can get these guys to eat greens is to mix it in their mash. Unless you want to consider edamame green. I mean, it is green. Yeah, you can tell she's not herself today, are you, baby? Yep, we go out as early as we can. I have to, I try to get them out just after sunrise, so. They haven't seen Henry II, but we have Gladiator and some things like that. They seem to like them. They're quiet when they're on. Nibble, well, they nibble it in their water. Well, there's our water nibbler right there. You put fresh water in there and he dumps his food in there. Silly bird. Silly bird. It would be one thing if he dumped just the hard food in there, the pellets and stuff, but he also puts in a little bit of his muffin, which I think he likes his muffin when it's really moist too, so. Well, you got your eyes open now, Bob. As you can see, his feather destructive behavior is gone now. His chest looks okay, and his wings are all right. I normally spray them down at least once a day, but he gets twice a day. Any bird starting. And there's something else too. There are some companies, which shall remain nameless, and never seen Seinfeld. I wasn't watching television for 30 years, so. But there are some companies who sell like stuff that you can spray on your birds to get them to stop plucking, right? If you try just using water, you're gonna get the same effect. Now, there are some like bitter, I wouldn't use them, but there are some things that provide a bitter taste, okay? And that might affect them, but I wouldn't put, because they need to preen their feathers, so I wouldn't do that. But if you spray a bird and they get wet, they won't pluck until they're dry. Now, they may work on their feathers to try to get them dry any way they can and then go back at it. But so spraying them is good for their feathers, and you should do that. But it's not going to cure the problem. Nothing's actually going to cure it. It's something built in, so. Yeah, well, I did the tests here too. The so-called stuff that's supposed to, not here, but of course at the sanctuary, it's supposed to stop them from plucking. It doesn't, so. Water will. If you get them wet, they won't. I've not seen a bird do it yet. Yeah, she likes her baths. She gets a kick out of a bath, don't you, baby? Give you one today because you need something to get your spirits going. Yeah, they have a bunch of stuff they sell us which doesn't work, but they can get away with it, so. Maybe I'll film a peachy bath today. What do you think, Peach? Should I film a peachy bath? Should I film a peachy bath? Or is that too private? Peachy girl. Yeah, there's a number of things they do for feather destructive that don't really work. Like people will take their birds in to get them deslorelin or lupron, something like that, to cut the actual hormones that are flowing through their bodies. That's what those two drugs are used for. Normally, that's just to get rid of like excessive egg laying is what that's best for. Or in the case of males, it is to calm them down if they're too aggressive with the females. But as far as being something that works with feather destructive behavior, Dr. Jenkins also worked with that to see if they would have any effect. And he says they're useless for that. And he would know, but I have not seen anything other than egg laying being affected by that and mating behavior. So. Some birds are triggered by different things, and sometimes you can slow a trigger down by giving them something if they're normally when their hormone levels are up. If their hormone levels are high, they may be more likely to pluck, but that's not the reason they pluck, so. And I think Jenkins has it right. The reason that they pluck is because they missed steps in their development. And like the one lady who was telling me, well, my bird was wild caught. And I said, yeah, that's because they chopped the trees down to get the babies, So did that baby actually grow up in a flock? No. So they did get to have some parenting, but if they're not fledged yet, we're talking about a similar situation to being raised in captivity. Yep, it's like the human one, They go for the wrist and then dial 911, and that's basically what's going on, so. It's actually, PTSD can happen, but what it is they're just missing steps in their development, so. We call that feather picking. Barbering is when a bird does another bird, okay? If a bird plucks the feathers of another bird, that's barbering. Just remember that when you go to the hair salon or the barber, you're not going there to watch them do their own hair. And even vets are using that improperly. I learned those when I was taking the ABA from Dr. Friedman. Barbering is when one bird pulls or damages the feathers of another. And feather plucking or FDB is when a bird damages itself. Just a terminology thing. Not important, except that it can get confusing. Yeah, and it helps to distract them. Hi, Scuttle Lebro. These are all the Chloe Sanctuary's birds. They're all in here, from Jasmine all the way around to Cecil. Yeah, they had a larger space at the other place that we were at, but this has worked out fine. And then we have the aviary, which is outside, which I think you can see if I hold this up. Outside, you can see there's an aviary out there. So we try to spend as much time in the aviary when it's not burning hot out there. I was talking to, there's a latch on that aviary I'm trying to get a replacement for, and yeah, she's always staring at the aviary. And I called up the company that makes it, A&E, and they asked me, well, what size do you have? And I said, the largest one you make. And I got laughed at. Like, that thing can be as 20 feet long if you want it to be. Apparently there's a section, and I know which section it is, that you can order and just keep extending it. So at some point we might extend it and make it a 20-foot long aviary, but yeah, it's exciting when you get a new one in, I'll tell you. This one I got in, she was a disaster case, boy. Hey, I'm talking about you, Jazzy Jazzbird, Jasmine. She was one of the birds that mutilates their chest, right? You can't tell that now, of course. But she took a massive amount of haloperidol to get her under control, and I couldn't get much sleep because I was required to give it to her 3 times a day, and that meant getting up in the middle of the night to give her a dose to keep her alive. But within 2 weeks, she was okay and back on a normal dose of Haldol. But she was just freaking out. I like, as far as cages, and they're not perfect, I like the 508s or 507s from King's Cages. They're around that same price. And speaking of Tritons, Pippa's hiding. I can't show you, and Bob's hiding, so I can't show you a Triton. I've got 2. Bob, we have 2, Bob and Pippa's hiding behind her toy. Hi, Pippa. Pippa. Yeah, her favorite food is ladyfingers, especially when the lady is still connected. Yeah, Tritons have a little more energy level than most of the other cockatoos. Bob is just constantly busy. You saw him sitting out there, but when he's out, he does not stop. And same with Pippa. She's a high energy bird. Always keeping their eye on what's going on. Yeah, well, I'm glad you feel that way, Scuttle Lebro, because in captivity they can't get everything they need, but you can get close. You can give them enough so that they're going to be happy. At least as happy as they can be in captivity. Unfortunately, they can never be fully a bird kept in a cage, but you can still make them pretty happy. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that setup. They are still sulfur crested. There's more than one kind of sulfur crested, though. There's the lesser sulfur crested, the albati they just found in Indonesia. The Indonesian Parrot Project found them. And there's the greater sulfurs and the tritons. And you can kind of count the citrons. I mean, they're still kind of sulfur crested, even though it's It's a lighter color. Yeah, see, this is the Bob right there. He's underneath there messing around, and it's just like, I can't just sit. Where you can get umbrellas, so I'll just like take a nap. Bob has always got one eye a little tweaked open. I don't know what's going on. Well, it's that time. I've got work to do. I have cleaning up to do. I have to clean up the aviary. We were out there. I have to make their food for the next 5 days. I've got to clean all these cages. Every day the paper's got to come out, and I got to clean the bars. So, and then I got to entertain birds. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Scuttlebro, nice to see you. Mayhem Beating, thanks for coming. Right, Salamander and Peaches, you want to say bye to everybody? She says, I can't say goodbye. She doesn't know how. Thanks for being here, Cheryl and Falcon Sue. Amy and Eleanor, of course, without which I would be lost. Appreciate everybody being here today. Don't we, Peach? And think about membership. You get to see those videos a little bit early, and you get pictures and things other people don't get. There's other perks too. So look into the membership. And you can also go out to our Patreon, which is Chloe Sanctuary / as it was the other way around. Wait a minute, reverse that. It's Patreon / Chloe Sanctuary. And then you can get into our workplace and actually get to talk to Peach. Be in our live meetings. So, but thank you all. Appreciate having you here. And thanks, Amy and Eleanor, for your help. And we're going to say goodbye. Goodbye.